Hello, and welcome. Special welcome if you're here from the meditation group from uni. This is part 4, the end of the first half of this mindfulness journey, and very powerful part of this. It's about shifting our relationship with stress from a place of reacting to a place where we respond with awareness and choice. So today we'll practice we'll use a simple and powerful tool called the stop method. And it's a short mindfulness practice that creates a really impactful pause between a trigger and the outcome it elicits from us, empowering us to respond with awareness and choice rather than react. And from that intentional space that this tool helps to foster, we can consciously reframe our relationship to both the stressor and the stress response. And we can see it as our body's way of mobilizing energy and focus and resources for something that is important to us, for something we want to perform well in. And we can mentally acknowledge the positive intentions of the stress. And rather than viewing it as something scary or unuseful for us, realizing that it's actually trying to, again, help us mobilize energy and resources to perform on something that means something to us. And when we truly believe, mind, body, and spirit, that the stress response is helpful, when we truly view it as a helpful adaptive tool, and when we truly shift our beliefs in the stress response and how it is from a place of it being from something that doesn't serve us and being scary and unuseful to actually something that is helpful and a key adaptive tool, that our body is preparing us for a challenge, and to meet that challenge, we can actually transform its effects. And so I talk a bit more about this, about using the stop method, and then from that intentional space, reframing, focusing on the positive intentions behind the stress response, and then choosing to act from that place and reaching out to people and fostering connection, which actually enhances our resilience. I talk more about all of this in a short video that I created intended to be watched before this practice. So if you're interested, you can check that out before watching the rest of this. And without further ado, let's begin the practice. So I'll briefly explain a bit about this practice before we fully begin. In this session, we will bring a mild stressor to mind, and then we will actively practice applying the stop method to that feeling, to that stressor, to create that intentional pause. And the intention is not to suppress what comes up, but to allow it, to observe it, and then practice shifting our relationship to it, because from that intentional pause, from a place of clarity, we can consciously reframe how we view that stress and that stressor. So I invite you to get into a comfortable position. And there is no perfect position, just simply one that feels supportive and is also conducive to staying alert and awake. And if it feels right, you can gently close the eyes, or you can also maintain a soft gaze on the surface in front of you. And I invite you to take a moment to reflect on why you're choosing to do this practice here and now. And nothing specific has to come to mind, just simply also sense perhaps your own sincerity. And I invite you to direct the awareness to the points of contact between the body and the surface that is supporting you. Perhaps it's the glutes on the lower back, the back of the thighs and the knees, the lower spine, mid-spine, the upper back. Just simply feel the weight of the body on the surface beneath you, and the surface beneath you supporting the weight of the body. And now I invite you to bring the awareness to the fact that we are breathing. Noticing the physical sensations of the breath in the body. Perhaps it's the rising and falling of the stomach, or the chest, the feeling of air in the nostrils. And there's nothing you need to change or control, just simply noticing and resting the awareness on the breath. So in this next part of the practice, I'll invite you to elicit the stress response in applying the stop method. So I invite you to bring to mind a situation that often elicits stress for you. It could be the thought of an upcoming deadline, a particular responsibility, or difficult conversations. And where are you usually when this response is elicited? What do you feel? What thoughts come up? Feelings? And without forcing it, see if you can just observe the initial signs of that stress response in the body. And if not, that's okay too. There's no need to force. It doesn't come up. And now we'll practice applying the stop method. So S is for stop. So pausing the visualization, pausing the story, whatever we're doing now, just for this moment. Calling a halt. And to T is to take a breath. So a single and slow, intentional breath, shifting the attention fully to the physical sensations of breathing in, breathing out. And O is to observe. So with gentle curiosity, checking in. What physical sensations are present? What thoughts came up? What feelings or emotions were elicited? Just noticing without judgment. Perhaps not much at all, perhaps very profound. Just simply noticing. And P is to proceed. So in this context, simply proceeding by continuing to listen to this guided practice and to rest the attention on the here and now, having created a small space between the trigger and the response. Now with this space, from this space, let's consciously reframe our relationship to the stressor. Seeing it as the body's way of mobilizing energy and focus for something that is deeply important to us. And noticing and appreciating the positive intention behind the stress response. Thank you, body, for trying to prepare me, to prepare us. I recognize this as something that we care about. And when we shift our beliefs about the stress response and the stressor, and how shifting it from a place of fear and viewing it as unuseful and scary to something that mobilizes energy and focus for us, that wants the best for us. And when we truly believe this actually shifts the physiological way in which the stress manifests in the body. From a place of a fast heart rate and constricted blood vessels to still a fast heart rate, but now the blood vessels are not constricted, mimicking the biology of joy and a courageous state. So let's now allow that scenario to dissolve and bring the awareness to the simple sensation of the breath. Using it as an anchor to the here and now. Bringing the attention to the rising and falling of the stomach. How it rises slightly on the inhale, falls on the exhale. Perhaps bringing the attention to the rising and falling of the chest and the shoulders. I invite you to move the attention to the feeling of the breath in the nostrils. On the inhale, perhaps feels slightly cooler, on the exhale slightly warmer, just simply noticing and resting the attention here. And perhaps the mind wanders, perhaps it wandered throughout the practice, and just simply noticing when it does and choosing with curiosity and with kindness to bring the attention back where you want it to be. And as this meditation practice approaches its end, let's expand the awareness to other senses. Perhaps noticing any sounds in the room, outside of the room, just simply noticing. Perhaps noticing the temperature of the air on the skin. And if it feels right, you can take a few deeper breaths, and on the next few breaths, on every inhale and exhale, feeling gently energized. Feeling more and more gently energized, and you can gently begin to move your fingers and toes if that feels right. Ready to come to the here and now, to the room around you. Whenever you are ready in the next few moments, you can gently open the eyes if they were closed. So I invite you to take a moment to truly appreciate the intentional time you just took for yourself. And the more that we practice in general the skill of moving the attention where we want it to be and relaxing into the here and now, the present moment, the more powerful, the stronger that skill becomes, and the more that we're able to apply it. And especially when we apply presence and kindness, curiosity in the context of stress during times of stressful situations, can create profound differences in the way that we show up, shifting from a reactionary state to a response from awareness and choice. And so let's remember this technique and keep practicing it, so that we can actually use it in times where we need it most, and we're less likely to rationally and from kindness and curiosity and presence use it. Takes 20 seconds to implement and can create profound differences, again, in the way that we show up. So I wish you a present day or evening ahead, and if you haven't watched that shorter video explaining this a bit more and a bit more intuition behind this, feel free to check this out. Thank you.